Welcome in, soldiers. Welcome to Sim RPG YouTube channel, and I appreciate you so much for being here. Guys, you already know we've been dissecting all of Final Fantasy VII Remake story since Chapter 1 to Chapter 9. Last chapter was great. We saw amazing theories, and if you got your theories, don't forget to post it immediately on the comment section below. Guys, I would say the same thing that everybody says, but stick around, check the video, and then if you decide to subscribe and like, that's cool. Thank you so much. The last video that we had for such a new and small channel with 51 subscribers, had more than 200 views on the last video. So I appreciate you all and thank you. Thank you so much for all the support that we are giving. Guys, this video is a little different. We are live streaming today while we are actually recording the voiceover. It's a different thing that I wanted to try for a bit. So if something like welcome to the channel or hey, thank you so much appears on the video, well, don't stress about it. It was something that happened on stream. I appreciate it. So today we got what? Chapter 10 of Final Fantasy VII Remake, Rough Waters. So Final Fantasy VII Remake Chapter 10, Rough Waters, like I said, it's on the sewer system of Midgar. Might seem like a transition chapter at first glance, but it's actually packed with hidden meaning, foreshadowing, and even subtle clues about Aerith, Claude, and the planet's will. How can that be, you know? But today we dive into the murky underbelly of Midgar and uncover how this seemingly quiet chapter may hold keys to bigger picture. And the truth is, there's choices in this chapter as well, because you have Aerith and Tifa lying on the ground when you first wake up, and you could actually go to either one of them. For me, the one that makes sense and always will make sense, and I'm sorry if I'm a little fanboy here about that, it's Tifa. Tifa and Cloud are my way to go, not Tifa and Aerith. Aerith and Zack, it's all good, but Tifa and Cloud, it's meant to be. You know, just kind of my wife and me. Yeah, I'm scoring points today. So, guys, let's deep dive into section 1 of this. You know, chapter 10 begins with our trio waking up in the sewers beneath Sector 5. And being ambushed by what? This fella here, Don Corneo. This is not just a physical descent, it's a symbolic one. But this guy is ugly, it stinks, and uses water sewage to attack us. Abzu is just crazy, and disgusting. That's what he is. It's just, we didn't have much of this part here explained in Final Fantasy VII OG. This is more a remake thing. And they emphasize a lot of the sewers on this game. Really a lot, believe me. So after waking up and, well, fighting this freaking big ape with horns and the big tail, which, oh my god, can't even explain how crazy this character is. Also fun though. You know, the symbolic thing on this chapter, on this video, will be the underworld in mythology is often where truths are revealed and souls are tested, right? And we're talking about mythology. That doesn't happen in no outside of mythology. Don't get me twisted. When you die, and that's it. Period. Nothing else happens after you die, okay? Hey, can be a controversial take, but it is what it happens. So the characters are literally beneath Midgar, beneath the false image of the city, and forced to confront their vulnerabilities. Does that make sense so far for you guys? Game-wise, of course. For everyone that actually played this chapter, we know that these sewers are just, even more dirty than the city itself. But it's normal, it's a sewer, right? But we have a whole network of stuff beneath it, with other kinds of species, and a glimpse also of the prison that Midgar is. Now, notice how this chapter gives us quiet moments of reflection, especially between Cloud and the two girls. This is where emotional foundations are laid, is in this specific chapter, especially between Cloud and the two girls. This is where, and possibly, where the triangle of fate between Cloud, Aerith, and Tifa truly begins to shift. So with all the craziness that this chapter is, and it's not easy, it's not an easy chapter. Believe me, it's not an easy chapter. The layer of complexity that this has is even better and bigger and more awesome than we expect. But how can we affirm this just for a small point of view on a so-called transitional chapter? Well, it's pretty simple. Abzu boss fight also has a few, ground placing things that you're gonna, see on the theory that we were talking about other Final Fantasy VII lovers. There's a lot of things behind that boss fight. The Beast of Secrets. Enter Abzu or Apes, Don Corneo's pet monster. So APS actually was the name of Abzu on Final Fantasy VII. Okay, the OG one on PlayStation 1. The grotesque creature isn't just a boss, it's a metaphor. Abzu is a metaphor. Because it's mindless destruction, controlled by who? Corneo. And Corneo is controlled by who? Well, we all know that although Corneo is in the verge or in the city of power, is kind of that powerful figure on wall market. Everybody is afraid of him, everybody does what he tells him, he runs that organization like a mobster, a freaky one though, and a creepy one. But it's like that. He, for wall market people, is the almighty ruler of that part of the city. But we all know, and after chapter 9, we can see that he's terrified of what? Well, the real villain right here, Shinra. Because everybody, once again, I talked about this in chapter 3, everybody says, oh no, Sephiroth or Genova are the real villains. No. Shinra, it's the real villain in this game. It's not only my opinion, it's the opinion of a lot of Final Fantasy VII players. But, hey, you are free, to check it out whenever you want. And of course, if you want to check Shinra as the biggest, hey, I think it's really true. They are the source of all evil on Gaia. So, another puppet of Shinra, which is Don Corneo, could Abzu represent how Shinra uses monsters and chaos to manipulate the people beneath them, or even Cloud's own repressed memories lashing out in a place of trauma? I know, this is a stretch, but bear with me. When you are down and upset, usually when you go to sleep, what do you have? nightmares. It's really often that happening. Another thing that is often is if your room is really cold, you have more probability of having a nightmare. And here we are, in a sewer, surrounded of bad things. So, could this be also part of Cloud's own repressed memories? Well, Apps is from the original game, like I said. His presence here is a callback, a whisper of what once was, a reminder that the past still bleeds into the remake, even in the sewers. And this was a awesome sentence right here, and I will tell you why this makes so many sense on the game is because on Final Fantasy VII OG, the sewers were just, not a big part of what the game was. It was a small path just to go back to Sector 7 after, Corneo pushed the button and we fell into it. It was not a big area. It's not even a hard one. You had Abzu as well, or apes. But it was a fairly quick section. This one here, on Final Fantasy VII Remake, is a much larger thing. And like the sentence says, a reminder that the past still bleeds into the remake. So once again, we can relate this Final Fantasy VII Remake being a sequel and not a remake. So this is a whole new timeline. And the sewers represent, once again, the whispers trying to connect all the timelines, because that's their job. Their job is to try that all timelines around Final Fantasy VII are the same and happen, well, not exactly the same, but at least close enough to it. That's why we don't see the whispers intervene here, because this is kind of what happened on Final Fantasy VII. This is one of the biggest theories that we have, of course, is Final Fantasy VII, and it's, well, kind of proven that this is not only a remake, this is something new. This is a sequel. And with that said, this is more than a transition chapter. Water is everywhere in this chapter, right? And in Final Fantasy, water is often symbolic of life, memory, and emotion. I don't know, for you guys that played Final Fantasy VII, we know that Aerith was buried underwater. So, in all of this, can this have some symbolism, this chapter, in the water in this chapter? Well, what do you think? Don't forget to tell us in the comments if you agree with some of the theories, or if you have your own theory on this chapter, or even in the game. Feel free to jump in and say your piece. As we open sluice gates and drain water to move forward, it's like the characters are unlocking buried truths, washing away illusions. Could this be a metaphor for how the timelines are shifting? How suppressed memories are trying to break through? Well, we know that the main thing on this game is memories, timelines, That's the most important thing, right? And as we are recording this, looking to this footage, we see what? This sewer is a complete maze. You know what else is kind of like a maze? Our minds. Our minds can be like a maze as well. So it does make a bit of sense that this chapter be way more than just a connection chapter. Well, think of Aerith reacting certain quiet moments. Like she knows more than she says in, well, not only in this chapter, but in most of the chapters. Is the planet trying to reach out to her here beneath Midgar, where its cries are the loudest? Because, hey, you're on the sewers, you have upper plate, the beneath plate, and then now you are close, really close to live stream, or closer at least. We are talking about a level like the mecha reactors are. So, no doubt about it, I think this can be a sign, and the quiet moments of Aerith are just symbolizing those expressions. The expressions of the planet trying to reach Aerith, the live stream, or even the whispers. With all that said, we see that water in this chapter can mean much more than just a path. Maybe the locked waters that we see here is the path of everything. And washing away and open new parts of this chapter is unlocking more memories of Cloud, the planet talking more with Aerith, and even Tifa, unlocking some of the feelings that she has towards Shira, towards Cloud, towards Soldier, towards Mako, towards Mako Reactor, towards everything. It's not unheard for that can happen there. Another thing that is very important is, as we're going to see after this section here that we are seeing gameplay right now, is the fact that Tifa and Aerith now are so much closer than they used to. Of course, they just met, and this is crazy, but this echo of connection between those two, and for two girls that just met, and they become such good friends, immediately. Can this be something more? Can this be an echo of the past? Can be this something that will be explored way more later on in the game? Well, we do know that most of the things that we see on Final Fantasy VII Remake is for us to try to get closer and closer to what? To the fact that the timeline needs to be always the same, right? So Tifa and Aerith here in chapter 10, and we'll see the interactions of them in the tunnels and talking with Cloud, and even saving his life actually, because he almost fell off because he's dumb. Gives us, this chapter is the only chapter on Final Fantasy VII Remake that gives us a rare time with just Tifa and Aerith together. Think about it. Even, of course, we didn't have this in Final Fantasy VII OG, but even the fact that they are together in this chapter means what? The friendship. You know, their dialogue shows respect, compassion, and sense of shared purpose, but also a subtle tension. And we will see that on the rest of the video. During the video, the gameplay, if you focus a bit on the gameplay after this section here, you'll definitely watch some tension with them, even in the dialogue where they are making, you know, we're going upstairs to the plate and we go shopping, and we can use Cloud as our chocobo. There's a little bit of tension there that I think it's not crazy, you know, that's not a lot, but it does exist. In general, this would be a simple thing to uncover, but for Final Fantasy VII Remake, that is based on, you know, timelines, memories, this can mean so much more and can be so much different than he actually is. Tifa and Aerith couldn't be, you know, immediately friends like that. That's not normal. You know, you didn't see that between others, right? Once again, Tifa is here, you know, afraid, and look at this. I know, me too. Here it is, compassion. Compassion right there. And that's really important. So, could this be more than a growing friendship? Could this be a moment where two timelines converge? Aerith's awareness meeting Tifa's intuition. Can be. It is possible. Many fans believe this chapter begins the quiet emotional groundwork for what comes much later, when both girls must confront what Cloud truly is and what he means to them. And this is, you know, amazing to think about it, because it gives so much more meaning to this chapter, to this relationship between Aerith and Tifa, than we are expected to have. I know that it's not, you know, when you start to conceiving these theories, it's not easy to see the big picture on this. But after 5 years of playing, dissecting, reading, talking with other creators, talking with other fans about it, that's what we actually have in this chapter. This is emotional groundwork for what comes much later, no doubt about it. Because Tifa needs to face that Cloud is still Cloud. Aerith needs to face that Cloud is not Zack. Although I think she knows by this time, though. Or at least on the latest chapters we know. The sewers aren't just a level, they're a character. That's one of the theories that I read as well. The music, the lightning, the sounds, they all paint a picture of Midgar's forgotten pain. I was reading this and I was thinking to myself, well, this is a bit too much. This is... but bear with me. Bear with me. In places like this, the planet's voice is clearer, especially, well, to the ones that can actually hear it, like Aerith. And here we see that happening. Cloud there almost fall. This is an amazing, amazing footage. And once again, we see those two together, fighting almost alongside to get what? To help Cloud and to continue to build that bond. I think Aerith, in this case, it's much more a character that needs not explaining, but Tifa is just, she can't hear the planet as much as Aerith. Heck, I don't think she can hear the planet at all. She's so focused on Sector 7 right now, and on Cloud and everything that Corneo says, that she can hear anything. But Aerith, otherwise, she definitely can. In places like this, like I said, the planet's voice is definitely clearer, because there's less Shinra tech drowning it out. Could this be why Aerith seems more alert, more tuned in the duration of this chapter? Even Cloud's headache seemed to spike in environments like this. Could it be the live stream trying to remind them of who he is? Who he really, really, really is? Because we don't see as much evolution here, it's deep underground, it's closer to the live stream. Even the fiends are different here, except for the rats. The rats are always everywhere. But we see also Aerith way more focused, Cloud being so much faster. By the end of this chapter, you'll see a scene that Cloud is just amazing sword fighter right there. Which is crazy, because he never had the training. Not like that. The teamwork here is also very important. As we can see, Tifa and Aerith work together twice on this chapter. Here is the second one. The first one was saving Cloud. Cloud, when he's, away from civilization, let's say like that, seems more aware of what he is. I think there's a small change of character and a small change of personality here. Maybe he reverts himself, well, not fully, but to his true self. The little kid that left Nibelheim in order to be a soldier for Shinra in Midgar, to be like Sephiroth, to be a hero, to save Tifa. And I think in this game, in this video, that's what we see here. Tifa and Aerith working together for the second time here is also a reminder that Cloud is not alone. He can rely on these new friends. And it's definitely perfect to see everything around that. Well, this chapter hides a lot of things and a lot of untold reasons and speculation. Let's not forget Don Corneo's role. Don Corneo is the catalyst of collapse. Because he was the one that was searching for Avalanche and Barrett in Sector 7. So let's not forget that, okay? Let's not forget they're only down there because of Don Corneo. But why would the devs spend so much time on this CD figure? Why Don Corneo, although it appears on Final Fantasy VII OG twice, in Utai and in Midgar, it appears twice there. Why did the devs spent so much time with them. So, because Corneo isn't just a sleazeball villain, he's disgusting, alright, he's fat, he has that hair, is crazy, and he's a pervert. It's just, for me, it's one of the funniest ever on this game. But he is a symbol of Midgar decay. Midgar's decay is very, very seen by the way that Don Corneo acts and plays his cards. It's just disgusting, It's a catalyst that triggers change, whether he knows it or not, because I don't think he realized that. And if he didn't send him here, maybe Cloud would never experience the truth even underground. Well, there's a few truths here, not a lot of them. In all honesty, this is not a channel that, a chapter that sees a lot of changes in the main game, but like it's true in life and in gaming, in this case on Final Fantasy VII Remake, sometimes fate or will or memories work through the most unlikely people, situations, and circumstances. And we see that happening in this chapter. We see Tifa and Aerith join forces together. We see Cloud being so much alert, and Aerith as well, listening more to the planet. Well, Chapter 10 is more than a sewer crawl. It's a descent into the past, into emotion, into fate itself. Every puzzle solved, every fight won brings the characters and us closer to the truth of the game. Beneath the city of false promises lies the raw truth of the world, and perhaps the seeds of resistance against destiny. Well, in conclusion of the theory, Chapter 10 is way more than a bridge. This is where fate, the planet, memories, and feelings start to growing on the game, start to make sense for the players. And this chapter and the next one is the chapters that leads to the worst thing that could happen in Midgar. The Sector 7 plate collapse. Well, what did you pick up in Chapter 10? Did something feel off, felt different, or perfectly placed? Drop your thoughts and theories below. And if this deep dive got your gears turning, well, that's the time to hit that like, subscribe, and ring the bell of fate. I love this sentence there. Until next time, we're going to check other parts of Midgar, of course, continue our hard mode gameplay, and continue to unfold what is Final Fantasy VII Remake. And related with the intermission as well. Guys, once again, I want to thank you so much for all the support, all the love, and everything that you've been, during all of this month and something, helping us. No, it's about 2 months actually, helping us with. We are now on 51 subscribers. Our goal would be to reach 100 if possible, of course, but if not, we're going to start low. We're going to start with the 60 subscribers would be the first goal. Well, in this case the second, because the first one is done, 50 it's done, but let's put the second goal as 60 subscribers. And I want to thank you so much for everything. Okay, until next time, guys, and keep listening to the whispers right here on youtube.com/simurpg. Till the next time, soldiers. See you later.